start with, Dean, what's your thoughts on the game and how this all panned out today?
Firstly, disappointed. We'd been on a long road stretch, and that was our 7th, and we thought it was a great opportunity to come back in here and get a second win. But there was some tired decision making that we made in the first half. I thought the defence wasn't quite at the level we needed to, but it was still pretty solid. But yeah, just our decision making at the other end. I think we had 4 stops in a row and come down on 4 possessions and outnumbered break, and we just didn't complete those, get fouled or get a good shot, and often we turned it over. So I thought that was the outcome of the first half, that we just needed to be better in our decision making. As the game wore along, I thought our defence went to another level. I thought we got down 10 and we brought it back and started to do some simple things offensively, and really attack the offensive glass that it kept the scoreboard ticking over as well. You get the lead, you're up 3 with 20 seconds to go, and what we thought was a very simple out-of-bounds call, goes called the other way, which was a massive surprise to all of us, and massive surprise that once we see video evidence of it, that it's not overturned and goes the other way. I don't understand that there's not enough cameras to see a out-of-bounds play right in front of our bench. So that's disappointing that we don't get that possession. Credit to them after that they score a 3 off the backboard to tie the game up. And then their execution was much better than us down the stretch, and Dusty obviously hit that last one, but made some really tough floaters in the lane, and it's hell of a one-on-one player, and he got the scoreboard ticking over in the overtime, and good for us to go through those close game moments and show that we need to be a whole lot better and execute much better in those moments.
You guys have generally been really good late game, even if you've had a good game or a bad game offensively. Were you a bit disappointed the last little bit there on not getting a bit of a running shot from Delhi, and then also were you disappointed that Dusty got free in that overtime, or was it just a one-on-one player sort of getting the spots?
Yeah, firstly the out-of-bounds play, it was an interesting one about how early we go and attack and how much time we leave them, and I think there was 13 seconds on the clock, and there was part of me that wanted to play it at pace and attack and create an advantage, and I thought that possibly could have got us a good shot, but once we got to stationary, they were setting their defence a little bit, and we didn't get what we want. So yes, absolutely disappointed with the shot that we got in that play. Dusty, I thought the one he got, we were up 2 in overtime, and he turns the corner from the elbow and gets straight downhill layup to tie the game. I didn't like that one, but the other shots that he made, I thought were heavily contested, and not much more we could do.
Chris, you've had a hell of a lot of good games for the club. You had a rough one today. What was sort of going on out there, and what's your read on how the game went?
Yeah, we were a step slow for a lot of it, and decision making, turning the ball over, and not being able to, myself, keep the scoreboard ticking over it all. It just allowed them to kind of get off the hook. When, if you think about last time we were here, we got on a fast break and we capitalised. We had guys sprinting. We were, getting layups, getting transition threes, and it was almost like the complete opposite of that. We were turning the ball over, missing shots, and it's very disappointing when you set a high standard for yourself and you have a terrible performance. It's disappointing. It's part of the game, but the most disappointing thing is, that we leave here with a loss after doing so much work on this road trip and these road games to try and set us up. So disappointed.
Chris, do you take a little positive out of the way Joe in particular stepped up in that fourth quarter? There was a void there, you guys needed someone, and he's giving you, I think, 11, 13 points or something in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Yeah, some guys stepped up, and that's the team we've built. We want to build that in big moments. Different guys step up and stamp their authority on the game. I feel like, that three by Shilly in the corners. It's a game. That's a game winner. So I feel bad for him, but because he's been up and down with his shot as well, and he just stepped into that and shot it confidently, which is what he does on so many occasions. So I was so happy for him when he made that. Joe as well. Jack White is making some big plays. So. There's positives on that, and there's also guys that, myself, some others that'll look at their performances and know that that's unacceptable. So, up and down.
Dean, is this game also just a bit of a reminder that the way this season's going to play out, everyone's going to have lots of games together in clumps, and there's going to be times you're going to have some others that have to cover for some of your veterans when there's a tough game or a bit of fatigue around?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a game that we came into with, a totally different support staff. We had a team manager, a physio, and a strength coach that were all out with COVID, and so we had a new group come in. They were fantastic. They did an amazing job on their first road trip to cover what we've got off the court. On the floor, how do we deal with Caleb? Massive foul trouble, 3 in the first half, and then picks up his fourth fairly quickly as well. Newley and Shea, cover those areas, and Whitey a little bit moving down to the 3 spot. So there was all those parts of the game to say, hey, those things haven't happened to us too much. How do we deal with it? And I thought in the second half we dealt with a lot of those things pretty well, but. Yeah, I think we're up to 11 games. Might be the highest in the league right now. We get an opportunity to go home and play in front of our fans, and we're super looking forward to that.
Do you hope to have your support staff back for Sunday, or are they pretty far into their protocols?
Yeah, I think most of them will be back with the group midweek. So, yeah.
I'm good, guys. Unless anyone else has got questions.
Haven't played at home since December 19. I mean, just how much of a factor do you feel that's been late in that run?
Don't know. Obviously, we've been great on the road. You feel over time in the last couple of games, you feel, there was intensity dropped at different moments where I thought, early in the road trip, that we had an intensity for, as close to 40 minutes as possible, and we just saw some little drop-offs, and then the extra effort to try and get back, and it was a massive effort, once we were 10 down, to the effort and energy that we put into it, and we've got to continue to remind ourselves that that's what it takes to win basketball games, and we've got to do that for sustained periods and longer than we did today. But credit to Adelaide, CJ obviously, was with him in New Zealand for a long time. He's going to be a great coach in this league, and took some tough losses, but to bounce back the way he got that group up today, great job to him.
And Chris, just finally, how was it as a player, I guess, to play that many games on the road mentally?
It was fine. We're professional basketballers, and the way we've treated it and handled this stretch is, the schedule's changed, whatever it is. Like it may seem cliche or whatever it is, but we go to training and we wait to get told who we're playing, and then we prepare for them as best as possible, and we want to win basketball games. So that mindset's probably helped us out through this stretch. A lot of road games, but we're not complaining. We're not saying don't give us road games. Like, we were out there winning games, and you know, the way we played our you know, it just kind of started to slip a little bit, as Dino said in the last couple. You know, and it's on us, because when you keep sort of squeaking your way out of there with a win, sometimes it's hard to change those habits or the things that are going wrong. So maybe this is the slap in the face we needed, you know, to really get back to playing the basketball we want to play.
Thanks, guys. That's all from me.
Bubbles, just one from me. I mean, every shooter in the world, you know, Ray Allen, Steph Curry, everybody's had nights like this, or afternoons like this, like you had. Was that just one of those days for you where it just didn't drop? Was it just elite defenders out there, back defenders from both teams? It's one of those nights.
Oh, I mean, there's a couple of misguided shots. There's shots that I left the hand and they feel great. They rattle around and pop out, and you know, the way I play, I treat those as makes. So there was numerous shots there where I was surprised when they didn't go in, but that's just my mindset when I play. So the most disappointing thing is just, you know, not being able to help out and help your teammates, or find a different way to help the team tick the scoreboard over, or whatever it may be. So I mean, it's the game we play. As I said, I've set a pretty high standard for myself. So of course there's going to be people talking about it when it goes the other way. But you know, get back to work, put in the reps, and let the work show for itself next game.